A very good morning to all of you. You're watching Breakfast News. My name is Aditi Nagpal Girotra. Before we begin, let's take a look at the headlines. 8-month-old BJP government has scored a century of decisions, solving decade-old problems. India now moving ahead, says PM Modi. Stresses on individuals declaring correct incomes and paying taxes for country's development. Portuguese president to arrive on a 4-day India visit. Delegation-level talks with PM Modi tomorrow to focus on economy and business, to also meet President, Vice President. Second batch of 25 foreign envoys visit Jammu and Kashmir, assess situation in the two union territories after scrapping of Article 370. Envoys to meet Lieutenant Governor, officials and people in Jammu today. Long-term policies only solution to eradicate poverty, not short-term waivers or freebies, says Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu. Tells governments and policymakers to ensure benefits of all programs reach most deserving sections of society. Two Indians test positive for coronavirus on ship quarantined off Japan. Spike in coronavirus cases and deaths to 42 new deaths and 4,800 new infections reported in a single day. The BJP-led NDA government is making the country's taxation system more citizen-centric. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said this on Wednesday while addressing the Times Now summit in New Delhi. Urging people to pay their dues for the development of the country, the Prime Minister said changes in the tax slabs are going to greatly benefit people. He also assured citizens that tax harassment is now a thing of the past. Listing out some key decisions of his government, PM Modi said, a special fund has been created for the middle class. Unauthorized colonies have been regularized in Delhi. Law has been brought against child abuse and chit funds. Article 370 has been abrogated. Triple talaq has been banned. Corporate tax reduced. Post of CDS created. Fighter planes are being delivered. Trust on Ram Temple created. And the citizenship law amended. Issues that had been pending for years.
देश दशकों पुरानी समस्याओं से समाधान करते हुए 21वीं सदी में तेजी से आगे बढ़ रहा है। दुनिया के सबसे युवा देश को जितनी स्पीड से काम करना चाहिए, हम वैसे ही करने का पूरा प्रयास कर रहे हैं। अब भारत समय नहीं गंवाएगा। अब भारत तेजी से चलेगा भी और नए आत्मविश्वास के साथ आगे भी बढ़ेगा.
The PM also said changes taking place in the country have given confidence to the society. The poor are today confident about uplifting their standard of living. He said today's India is working on the Decade Action Plan, developing at a fast pace.
आज देश के किसान में ये आत्मविश्वास आ रहा है कि वो खेती के साथ ही अपनी आय बढ़ाने के लिए खेती से जुड़े अन्य विकल्पों पर भी काम कर सकता है। आज देश के उद्यमियों में, व्यापारियों में ये आत्मविश्वास आ रहा है कि वो एक अच्छे बिजनेस एनवायरनमेंट में अपने बिजनेस कर सकते हैं, अपना बिजनेस बढ़ा सकते हैं। आज के भारत ने, आज के न्यू इंडिया ने अपनी बहुत सी समस्याओं को पीछे छोड़ दिया है।
Portuguese President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa is arriving in India today. He'll be here till February 16th. Sousa will be accompanied by ministers and officials. During the visit, Sousa will be accorded a ceremonial welcome at Rashtrapati Bhavan on 14 February, followed by a visit to Rajghat. He will hold delegation-level talks with Prime Minister Modi at Hyderabad House, followed by a lunch. President Ramnath Kovind will meet the visiting president on 14 February and host a banquet in the honor of the visiting president. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu will meet the visiting president. Sousa will also travel to Maharashtra and Goa during his visit. This will be President Marcelo's first visit to India. The last visit by Portuguese president to India was in 2007. India and Portugal have active and growing cooperation in the field of economy and business, science, culture, and education. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu held bilateral delegation-level talks with his Vietnamese counterpart in New Delhi. A statement from the Ministry of External Affairs said that the two leaders discussed all aspects of bilateral relations and exchanged views on political, defense, economic, and security issues of mutual interest. The two sides agreed to continue their close coordination and mutual support at multilateral fora, especially on the account of Vietnam becoming non-permanent member of United Nations Security Council and assuming the ASEAN chair in 2020. Today, the Vietnamese Vice President will call on President Ramnath Kovind. She will also visit Bodh Gaya today. Vietnamese Vice President Dang Thi Ngoc Thien is on an official visit to India from 11th to 13th February. Our correspondent Akhilesh Suman spoke to Ambassador of Vietnam in India, Pham San Chau, on discussion between Vice President Venkaiah Naidu and Vietnamese Vice President. Here's what he had to say.
Ambassador of Vietnam in India is with me. Ambassador, the Vice Presidents of India and Vietnam talked together. So, can you outline what were the major issues that were discussed between the two?
The two leaders have conducted a very important, candid and constructive talk, which cover a wide range of issues touching defense and security cooperation, to trade, tourism, investment cooperation, and to people exchange, education, a lot of things.
Vietnam is now chairman of ASEAN. Was any request made from Indian side about review of India-ASEAN free trade agreement?
Yes, that point has been also brought up by the Indian side, and the Vice President of Vietnam also said that in the current capacity of ASEAN chair, Vietnam will pass on the message to other ASEAN countries, and we hope that we will be able to consider the review of this free trade agreement.
During a Defense Expo exhibition in Lucknow recently, India had announced that it will export defense equipment to many countries. So is India willing and is Vietnam willing to trade on defense thing also?
For the first time, we have a Vice Minister of Defense attending the expo. So this is a very good, significant step.
So this was Ambassador of Vietnam in India, and he expects that India-Vietnam defense cooperation will take place in coming future. Akhilesh Suman for Rajya Television in Delhi.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has said that India will accord a memorable welcome to US President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania Trump during their visit on 24th February and 25th February. In a Twitter message, PM Modi has said that the visit will go a long way in further cementing India-USA friendship. He further said that India and USA share a common commitment to democracy and pluralism. He added that the two nations are cooperating extensively on a wide range of issues. US First Lady Melania Trump has thanked Prime Minister Narendra Modi for his invitation. Responding to his Twitter message, she said that both US President and she are excited for the trip. Earlier, US President Donald Trump said that he is looking forward to his visit to India. Calling Prime Minister Modi a great gentleman, he said he is looking forward to the visit. He said that Prime Minister Modi told him that there will be millions of people just from the airport to the new stadium in Ahmedabad to welcome him.
I just spoke with Prime Minister Modi, and it's going to be I don't know who's going, but he said we will have millions and millions of people. My only problem is, so last night we probably had 40 or 50,000 people, far more than anyone else, but when we have 50,000 people nowadays, fellas, I'm not going to feel so good, because he thinks we'll have 5 to 7 million people just from the airport to the new stadium. And you know, it's the largest stadium in the world. He's building it now. It's almost complete. And it's the largest in the world. And he's a friend of mine. He's a great gentleman. And I look forward to going to India. So we'll be going at the end of the month.
A delegation of 25 foreign envoys from the European Union and Gulf countries in currently Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir to take stock of the situation after abrogation of Article 370. The delegation that arrived in Srinagar on Wednesday includes envoys from Germany, Canada, France, New Zealand, Mexico, Italy, Afghanistan, Austria, Uzbekistan, Poland and European Union. On the last day of their two-day tour, the delegation will visit Jammu today and meet Lieutenant Governor Girish Chandra Murmu and other senior administrative officials. On Wednesday, the envoys held meetings with civil society members, sportspersons and youth groups, Kashmiri traders, businesswomen and entrepreneurs. They also met a delegation of politicians. They also held a meeting with media persons, including editors of several local newspapers. The delegation took a shikara ride on the famous Dal Lake. This is the second batch of foreign envoys visiting the newly formed Union Territory post-abrogation of Article 370. Earlier, a team of 15 envoys, including US Ambassador to India Kenneth Juster, paid a two-day visit to Jammu and Kashmir in January. Reacting to conviction of 2611 mastermind Hafiz Saeed by a Pakistani court, India has said that the action is part of a long-pending international obligation of Pakistan to put an end to support for terrorism. The government sources revealed that the government said that the decision has been made on the eve of FATF plenary meeting, adding that the efficacy of this decision remains to be seen. The government also raised questions about whether Pakistan will act against other terrorist entities and individuals operating from territories under its control and bring perpetrators of cross-border terrorist attacks, including Mumbai and Pathankot, to justice. A court in Lahore has sentenced Lashkar-e-Taiba founder Hafiz Saeed to 5.5 years prison in a case related to terrorism financing. The Union Cabinet on Wednesday approved changes in the Direct Tax Vivad Se Vishwas Bill to 2020. The move aims to increase its scope to cover litigations pending in various debt recovery tribunals. The bill was introduced in the Lok Sabha earlier this month with the aim of reducing litigations related to direct taxes.
दूसरा महत्वपूर्ण एक अमेंडमेंट संशोधन बिल है, वो है विवाद से विश्वास। हमें पता है देश भर में टैक्स डिस्प्यूट्स इतने बढ़े हैं कि 9 लाख करोड़ रुपए की रकम उसमें विवादित है। 9 लाख करोड़ की रकम बेवजह विवाद में है और कोर्ट में मैटर चलती रहती है, ट्राइब्यूनल्स में मैटर चलती रहती है और इसका कोई जल्दी निपटारा नहीं होता। देश का भी नुकसान होता है और सभी का समय भी खराब होता है और इसलिए बजट में विवाद से विश्वास ये नया स्कीम लाया जिसका देश भर में स्वागत हुआ।
The cabinet also approved the infusion of rupees 2,500 crore into 3 public sector general insurance companies: Oriental Insurance Corporation, National Insurance Corporation and United India Insurance Corporation.
जो जनरल इंश्योरेंस की कंपनियां हैं, नेशनल जनरल इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, ओरिएंटल इंश्योरेंस कंपनी और यूनाइटेड इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, जैसे बैंकों को कैपिटलाइज किया था, लगभग पिछले 5 साल में 2-2.5-3 लाख करोड़ रुपए बैंकों में कैपिटलाइज किए थे, वैसी ही इन आईआरडीए के जो सॉल्वेंसी रेशियो है उससे इनकी स्थिति कम थी और इसलिए इनको भी कैपिटलाइज करने का सरकार ने निर्णय किया है और सरकार ने आज के निर्णय के तहत 2500 करोड़ रुपए इन 3 इंश्योरेंस कंपनियों को कैपिटलाइज करने का निर्णय किया है।
The Pesticide Management Bill 2020 also got the Union Cabinet's nod. The bill is aimed at protecting the interest of farmers by ensuring that they get safe and effective pesticides. Union Cabinet cleared the Major Ports Authority Bill as well. The bill will replace 1963 law governing the country's 12 major ports. The legislation will be introduced in the second part of the budget session of Parliament. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu has said that food, clothing, shelter, education and medical facility are the 5 basic necessities of every individual which should be fulfilled. He added that if class of a society does not get these facilities, then it can be said that the standard of living has not developed. Addressing the gathering after releasing the book titled The Vision of Antyodaya, compiled by the Indian Social Responsibility Network, the Vice President said that sustainable and inclusive growth was the need of the hour. He asked people in public life to focus more on inclusive growth in line with the Antyodaya philosophy of Pandit Deendayal Upadhyay.
By and large, we can see that food, clothing, shelter, education and medical attention are the 5 basic necessities of every individual which should be fulfilled. If we want to assess the material standard of life of any country, we could take this as a starting point. If any class of societies does not get these facilities, we may say that the standard of life of the society is not developed.
The central government is considering giving relief in contract in the construction field. This is to give more opportunities to small companies. Road Transport and Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari said this while addressing people associated with the construction industry on Wednesday in a program titled Enforcement of Contracts of Underground Construction and Tunnelling by SOCM. Nitin Gadkari said that the government is also working on framing the policy of project management consultancy, and this will be completed soon. Through this policy, both the government and the contractor will benefit. During the program, the representatives also put their concerns and suggestions before him. Nitin Gadkari assured that the government is trying to make the process completely transparent and at the same time, cost values are reduced.
Now we have already in the process of making project management consultancy, and that PMC is really a good concept, and we have a lot of discussion now, and our DG has already received a lot of suggestions, and he is in no position that finalization of the policy for project management consultancy, and I am confident within 15-20 days we will finalize this policy. And that policy is very useful for both for the contractor and for the government. So that is going to resolve.
In the just concluded first phase of the budget session, Rajya Sabha functioned for a total of 38 hours, 30 minutes, clocking 96% productivity with 155 members speaking during the 9 days of sittings from 31st January to 11th February. Here's the detailed report.
Rajya Sabha recorded 96% productivity in the first phase of the budget session of Parliament that concluded on Tuesday. The upper house had 9 scheduled sittings, but as per convention, not much business could be taken up on the first 2 days, while disruptions prevented business on the third day. Against an available time of 41 hours 10 minutes, it functioned for 38 hours 30 minutes. 5 hours and 32 minutes were lost to disruptions, while members sat for 3 hours 56 minutes extra to restrict net loss of time to 1 hour and 36 minutes. In the 6 effective sittings of the Rajya Sabha, 155 members or 69% of the effective strength of the House spoke under various instruments like 0 hour and special mentions. While 75 0-hour submissions were made during 4 days, 38 special mentions were taken up on 6 days. 34 starred questions were answered, while 45 members spoke on the motion of thanks to the President's address and 55 members took part in the discussion on the general budget. The legislative agenda for the second phase of the budget session that starts on the 2nd of March 2020 is likely to include consideration and passing of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code Second Amendment Bill 2019 to replace an ordinance. The Mineral Laws Amendment Bill 2020 to replace an ordinance. The National Commission for Indian System of Medicine Bill 2019. The National Commission for Homeopathy Bill 2019. The Aircraft Amendment Bill 2020 after it is passed by the Lok Sabha. The Direct Tax Vivad Se Vishwas Bill 2020 after it is passed by the Lok Sabha. Motion for modification of notification regarding the Right to Information Rules 2019 that was tabled in November 2019. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The Department of Military Affairs, headed by Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat, will have 3 joint secretaries from the Army, Navy and the Air Force. From the civilian side, there are currently 2 IAS officers, Rajiv Singh Thakur and Shantanu, in the Department of Military Affairs. With the appointment of 3 joint secretary rank officers, the DMA will have a blend of civilian and military officers. According to the sources, the joint secretaries will be of the ranks of Major General, Rear Admiral and Air Vice Marshal. A total 13 deputy secretaries, 25 under-secretaries and 22 section officers have been transferred to the DMA. President Ramnath Kovind awarded the President's colour to Lonavala-based INS Shivaji in a ceremonial parade today. Maharashtra Governor Bhagat Singh Koshyari was also present on the occasion. On this occasion, the President said that India is playing an important role in international security. At least 12 people were killed and around 25 seriously injured as a private bus in which they were travelling collided with a truck on the Agra-Lucknow Expressway. The accident took place at around 10 p.m. on Wednesday in Nagla Khangar police station area of Firozabad. The sleeper bus was going from Delhi to Motihari in Bihar. The injured have been sent to Saifi in Etawah for treatment. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath issued directives for proper treatment of the injured. Government on Wednesday announced that the National Highways Authority of India will waive off the FASTag cost between February 15th to 29th. Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has said that the decision aims at enhancing electronic toll collection at NH fee plazas. Road users can visit any authorized physical point of sale locations with a valid registration certificate or RC of the vehicle and get an NHAI FASTag free of cost. It can be purchased from all national highway fee plazas, regional transport offices, common service centres, transport hubs and petrol pumps, among others. NHAI had earlier announced for free NHAI FASTag from November 22nd to December 15th last year. A spike in coronavirus cases have been reported in China. China's Hubei province announced 242 new deaths from the novel coronavirus on Thursday morning, twice as many as on the previous day. Also, new infections there jumped by 14,800 in one day. Hubei has started using a broader definition to diagnose people, which accounts for most of the rise in cases. The virus has killed more than 1,300 people and infected over 60,000 people worldwide. The vast majority of cases are still in mainland China. Meanwhile, 2 Indian crew on board cruise ship Diamond Princess off Japanese coast have tested positive for coronavirus. The Indian mission in Japan reported this on Wednesday. In total, 174 people have tested positive for the coronavirus on the Diamond Princess cruise ship. About 3,700 people are on board the cruise ship, including 138 Indians. The Diamond Princess was placed in quarantine for 2 weeks on arriving in Japan on February 3rd after a man who disembarked in Hong Kong was diagnosed with the virus. All the infected people have been taken to hospitals for adequate treatment, including further quarantine in accordance with the Japanese health protocol. Indian crew members have appealed for help. And now let's talk about environment and climate change. Global average summer temperatures are likely to break all the records in the coming years due to global warming. A new study has revealed that the trend of increasing temperature is likely to continue through 2028. It also stated that every year is likely to rank among the planet's 10 hottest of all time. Recent data from the World Meteorological Organization revealed that 2016 was the warmest ever, followed by 2019. The study, which analyzes temperature fluctuations in national oceanic and atmospheric administration, has added to growing alarm over global warming and the impact of climate change on the planet. And with this, it's a wrap on this edition of Breakfast News. Thank you so much for joining us.